Hi, ladies. Hello. We've just witnessed Voices of Experience, and the four of you, four wonderful writers. I mean, why is it so important, especially with International Women's Month and everything else associated with it?
I think it's really important that we have events like this that highlight the sort of work that women are doing out there in the creative fields, and especially with writing. We're doing some really good stuff, so I think it's lovely to showcase it.
I think also it's very important to show the next generation actually that if we make waves for the next generation can make a difference as well. And I think through writing, it's quite a creative and powerful tool to make a difference to the perceptions that people have of us. And I think that's vital to make change. So I think it's enjoyable, but it's also quite insightful too.
I know that the three of you are not professional writers, though you are a professional writer. But with the other three, how did it feel? I mean, this is your first experience of writing. How did it feel for you, Diya?
I think it was really exciting, and I think it's a great opportunity to celebrate life. I know it's International Women's Day, and womanhood is a great thing to celebrate. And this is not just about talking about the differences that we have in everyday life, but also to celebrate the good things that we are doing, and how it's impacting all of us. So it's been really a wonderful experience.
And how about yourself, Rushnara?
I think it's really important to raise awareness of the struggles of women and girls who are coming into this country sometime. And I think this is what sort of like prompted me to write my short piece story. I just think the children in this generation, of even my children, don't understand the struggles that we go through, and it's so important to raise that awareness so people are aware of what's going on. Because
your piece was very much about that, wasn't it, where you're kind of reflecting on that whole change of being in one place and that transition, yeah. And do you think the children of today are kind of going through a similar thing?
I think in different ways they are going through some changes, and it's if they see that their older generation has gone through some of the changes, they can relate to them.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely.
I think they still have cultural conflicts, don't they? The younger generations. I think
it's a different.
It's a different way.
So when you say cultural conflict, what would you say that is? Is that in terms of their identity?
Yes, I think sometimes they've got their cultural heritage, they've got their religious identity, then they've got a Western identity. So I think sometimes for them blending it all and finding themselves is quite a difficult thing. I think sometimes the blending of the two is where the difficulty lies, because I think growing up the way we did, well, the way I certainly did was there was your Bengali culture and there was your English culture, and often they didn't quite mix, and sometimes it made it easier to make sense of the two different worlds because there was a clear demarcation between the two. But nowadays I think children have a fusion of a lot of identities, and sometimes finding their feet within that is quite difficult because like it was said about their religious identity and cultural identity, their Britishness, all of those factors coming together makes it quite difficult then to find who they actually are, their essence of their character within that.
What advice though would you all give though? What should the women of today be? Do they need to follow a certain religious path or a cultural path or should they be themselves? So I mean,
Absolutely, be yourself.
Be bold. Be brave.
I think we've got the best of both worlds. Actually, we can bring our culture, we can bring our religion, we can bring the British culture into it, and take the best of what everything's got to offer us.
And I also think that Asian women are now becoming an integral part of British society. They're contributing to it positively and adding value to it, and it's about celebrating that. And
would you say that they've always contributed but they've never been recognised?
I think we are recognising more and more now, and these events sort of add to that a lot more.
But also I think sometimes it's something that Pavan said that struck a chord with me, is that unless we write our own narrative, somebody else is going to write that narrative for us. So I think we need to put our stories out there in order to show the world that actually we've always made a positive contribution to British culture, to British values, etc., etc. But actually we need to kind of almost sing our praises a little ourselves, because if people aren't going to come knocking on our door to hear our stories, it's our job then to put our stories out there.
For the young females of, young generation, what would you say? Do they need to start writing?
Start writing, be creative, be bold, be confident in who you are, and shape the future how you want
And
to.
don't think that it's not for you, because I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable in the creative world, and sometimes it's quite difficult to get Asians to come.
Well, you're evidence that you can make money out of it.
Well, to be honest with you, with me, with writing this novel, I had specific reasons. And
Yes, and can you just remind us your novel?
It's STEM.
Oh, she's even holding it there, yeah.
But for me, it was to do with the issues of women within the British, South Asian and Muslim communities, and those are the things that I wanted to highlight, the issues that I see around me. So that was my main motivation for writing the novel.
That's great, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.